Weather for Weather Geeks time, Wednesday evening, August the 3rd, 2016. Welcome back, everyone. Thought I'd start out this evening talking about something that's not weather-related, but interesting nonetheless. We had a minor earthquake this morning in southeast Ohio. Let's take a look at the information on this. This is in the wee hours of this morning, about 4:50 this morning. A magnitude 2.0 earthquake near Tuscarawas County, Harrison County area. I believe it was, where was this? Barnville? I forget the name of the town now. But anyway, a minor little earthquake this morning that was not even reported by the public, but it was confirmed by a seismologist down in southeast Ohio this morning. 88 degrees our high this afternoon, 92 in Cleveland, 87 in Pittsburgh. So it was a toasty day today. It was another one of these days that we've had a lot this summer where it's not, extreme heat or anything. Records weren't challenged, but it's certainly quite a bit above average. And when I went back and tabulated the number of 85 degree plus days for the year up to this date, August 3rd, going back 30 years, we are not near the top of the list, but we're in the top 10. If you go back the last 30 years, we are at number 8 in the rankings here of most 85 degree plus days for the year through August 3rd. Back in 1991, 47 days, that very hot and dry summer in the drought of 1988, we had 40. And look, 2012 pops up again. We've been talking about since spring how this summer would be the hottest since 2012. And yes, indeed, we're just under 2012 on this list. Notice the lack of dates on that list in the 1990s. Not a lot of hot summers back in the 90s. All right, dew point temperatures this evening at about 7:46 in the lower 60s. Look at Cleveland, 50 with the wind off the lake. The dew points aren't bad. It's a pretty pleasant evening. It was a warm day today, but it's not super muggy. Now, we do have a front that is kind of stalled down to our south, kind of a stationary boundary almost. You can kind of draw it that way in through here. And this boundary has been kicking up a few showers and even a couple of rumbles of thunder today in southeast Ohio and into West Virginia. Concerned tomorrow that some of this is going to try to creep a little farther north, and I'll show you the forecast in just a second. But we've had to insert a small chance for a little wet weather for tomorrow afternoon. All right, here is Earl, which is now a hurricane, getting set to make landfall in Belize over the next several hours. A minimal hurricane, just barely a hurricane at 75 mile per hour sustained winds, gusts to 85. And this will make landfall in Belize tonight and probably produce some flooding problems for parts of the Yucatan Peninsula, parts of Belize, and then it'll, of course, just dissipate over land. Not much of concern for the Gulf of Mexico, and certainly no concern for the U.S. But this is actually the first Western Caribbean hurricane since Sandy 4 years ago, back in 2012. So it's been a while since we've had a storm down in that neck of the woods. All right, back up in our neck of the woods. I mentioned tomorrow we've had to insert this small chance for a shower, maybe a thunderstorm. This is in the afternoon. A lot of us are going to miss this, but it's a high enough chance that I had to throw it into the forecast. Warm front pushes through, and then, muggy Friday. Hot. 89, 90 degrees Friday. Dew points near 70. Heat index values a few degrees above the air temperature. And while there could be a shower Friday or a thunderstorm Friday afternoon, I think the best chance is after dark Friday night as our front rolls through. The front's gone by Saturday morning. This looks a little too cloudy to me Saturday morning. I think it just turns out to be a pretty sunny day. It's going to be a fantastic weekend. A clean sweep behind this front. And what I mean by that is this front's going to go charging off the East Coast, and a strong area of high pressure is going to nose into the Midwest and drive much drier air into the region for the entire weekend. So dew points are going to drop down into the 50s. It's going to be just great. Again, back to tomorrow. Our rain chances ramp up a little midday and afternoon, but it's only about a 30% chance that in your location, wherever it is, you see measurable precipitation. Not real concerned about severe weather Friday late in the day. This front's coming through at an unfavorable time of the day for severe weather, so we're just in the very low risk for severe weather, according to the Storm Prediction Center. So basically, no severe weather expected, but lightning is always dangerous in any thunderstorm. All right, talked about this at 6 o'clock today. We're heading into a pretty dry pattern again for the next week or so. Look at the donut hole. You've got healthy amounts of rain to the south, to the west, to the northeast, and then we're in this zone in eastern Ohio and western PA where it's not going to rain much over the next week or so. We had an unsettled period last week into the weekend where we had, some places got a couple or a few inches worth of rain. But over the next week or so, we're going to average probably less than a half an inch, maybe even closer to a quarter of an inch worth of rain. So heading back into a dry pattern. Also going to get pretty warm next week. Here's a look at the upper level flow and the surface temperatures. And over the weekend, our trough, this is this coming weekend, our trough axis is pushing off the coast of New England and into Atlantic Canada. This northwesterly flow will bring in that pleasant air. But then look what happens next week. That pushes out, a nice ridge develops across the Mississippi Valley. And this is, again, it's not a real hot pattern. It's not a pattern that's going to produce 95 degrees here. But it is the kind of pattern that we can flirt with 90 a few times next week, particularly middle of the week. And then we should cool off heading towards the following weekend. But middle of next week, awfully hot-looking pattern for a large chunk of real estate across the country east of the Rockies. That's the Wednesday night edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks as always for watching, everyone. Always appreciate everyone checking out this video. Put a lot of time and effort into it, and I love all you weather geeks out there. Keep on keeping on. I'll see you back here for more Weather Geeks tomorrow night, and 21 News is on, of course, tonight at 11. I'll see you then.